Today on CityCast Seattle, it's February, and we're talking about the month's holidays, Museum Month, and our picks around town. First, I want to ask though. So, February obviously is a month of Valentine's Day. You all might remember having to give Valentine's Day cards out as kids. Was that part of the experience that you all had? I hope. I want to know from you, creative producer Sam J. Leeds, what was your favorite like Valentine Day card theme?
Theme.
Like, didn't you get like I remember getting like Power Rangers ones. I remember getting like Care Bears. Do you remember
Wow.
a particular theme?
I don't know what this says about my childhood, but I have fully blacked that out. Most of my Valentine's Day related like school memories are that I think in high school you could buy like a carnation or a rose for people
Oh,
in
that was
class.
fraught.
Yeah, and so people would have like flowers delivered to them in the middle of class, and then by the end of the day, like some people would be walking around with like a handful of flowers, and other people would have none.
It was
And
basically like, does anyone like you or not? Which was
right.
kind of a lot. Creative producer Liam Billingham, what Valentine's Day memories do you traumatic
Horrid
memories do you
flashbacks.
have?
First of all, I'm like, ugh.
Watching your face.
I just remember how horrible high school was. My answer is, I remember buying Batman themed Valentine's Day cards for my
Yes.
third grade class, and being, as a Batman obsessed youth, being pretty happy about that. They were like Batman the animated series style cards, if you recall that show.
Nice. What about you, executive producer Ashley Smith? Did you have a theme you remember?
I remember some like sparkly Jurassic Park ones that said "Love finds a way."
Oh, that's so good.
That's actually sick, dude.
I want those now. Yeah,
Yeah.
Let's
I
bring
think we
them
should bring
back.
those back.
Velociraptor
Yeah.
on your Jurassic Park card.
As adults, we should have them. I actually saw a few years ago a set of Nicolas Cage themed
Oh my God,
Valentines that you
mhm.
can print for your friends, and maybe I'll just do that this year.
Please do.
All right, well, let's get into the rest of the occasions to celebrate this month. So February is Black History Month, and I thought it would be fun for us to each bring our favorite Black-owned business in town. Sam, do you have one that you want to shout out?
Yeah, so this is actually like an events and arts space in the Central District. Wanawari, it's a fifth generation Black owned home, and they host all kinds of concerts, art shows, book talks, neighborhood conversations out of the space. And it's like a really cool community third space, and they're doing like a really amazing job preserving the history of Black home ownership in the Central District as well. And then like a couple of restaurants that I really love, Jerk Shack, Mama Sambusas, and Communion, all have amazing food and are really worth checking out. Communion is probably, I think, the best known of those three. And the chef who runs Communion has been kind of a staple, a fixture in Seattle's food scene for a really long time. But for those of you who haven't made it out to Communion, highly recommend. Really, really delicious. So yeah, those are my recs.
Nice. You mentioned Wanawari is in the Central District. I also want to shout out PJ's Bonbons and Creamery.
Ooh.
The nicest people run that place. It's a couple of sisters, and they make these amazing like ice cream bonbons. I went there with some friends who we have a little ice cream club where we try and get ice cream every month.
I wanna be in the
They
club.
were so enthusiastic about that. What, Ashley?
I want to be in the club, Jane.
You
Ice
can come
cream
with
club
us.
sounds wonderful.
Okay, weirdly, I'm in two ice
My
cream
kids
clubs.
will like 100%. You want to pick them up and take them to ice cream club, they'll do it.
I mean, we could start a third ice cream club, I think.
The fact that you have two already is so greedy, Jane. What the heck?
I can't
Me
say
and
that
Liam's kids have zero.
Wait, Ashley, I feel like you could start one with
Yep.
them.
Yep.
blessed with a surplus of ice cream in my life. Ashley, what is
beautiful.
your pick?
I feel like this is a pretty well-known one, but I love myself a chicken finger and some crinkle cut fries, so I'm going to say Ezel's. But since that one is pretty well known, I wanted to shout out Traveling While Black on TikTok and Instagram. That's like one of my favorite accounts to follow. They're super creative. They share Black-owned businesses around all of Washington State, really. They do road trip guides. They have like Black approved vacation spots that they check out for everybody. And I think they even do tours now, which is super cool.
Oh.
So highly recommend.
Nice. Yeah, I always get a kick out of their videos.
Mhm.
Do a lot of great stuff. All right, what about you, Liam?
Well, first of all, my kids also love chicken nuggets and crinkle cut fries. So, Ashley, if you just want to pick them up on a Saturday and then bring them for ice cream, that would be ideal. My pick is the BLMF Literary Saloon in Pike's Place. I was just there. We had some friends in town. And, like, one of the things that's nice about Pike's Place is it is touristy, but also there's the side
you're
of
doing it.
I did it! No! No!
Cancel him. Cancel him.
This is all getting deleted. Pike Place. One of the things that's nice about Pike Place, God, this is so bad, is that there are parts of it that are obviously touristy. Stop laughing at me, Jane. But that part of it feels like kind of for real heads, and I just love wandering around that store. I love a mostly organized bookstore. And I had a nice chat with the owner about their philosophy section, and it's just a really good spot and centrally located and a great place to buy a used book. And I like used books more than new books. So once again, Pike Place.
Pike Place. Yes.
I've never heard of it. I'll have to check that out.
You should. Yeah, it's a kind of an underknown spot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, that sounds like a great mix of places, of ones that I already love and places that I would love to go check out. Another thing happening this month, Lunar New Year starts on February 17th. There are celebrations all month. So Volunteer Park is doing an oolong tea ceremony midday on Monday. I wish it were not midday because I would love to go.
Yeah.
But if you're around February 9th, they're doing a tea ceremony. Finney Neighborhood Association is doing a celebration on Saturday the 21st. It's supposed to be family friendly. They've got the dragon dance, and the Chinatown International District celebration isn't actually until next month, March 6th. But if you're looking to celebrate Lunar New Year, just look. Really, there are so many different celebrations that you will have no trouble finding one. It's Year of the Horse. I don't know how much you all know about Lunar New Year. You might know that every year has a different zodiac sign. Maybe a big year for horse girls who are also born in, oh gosh, what are the years that you're supposed to be born in for Year of the Horse?
It's year of the fire horse specifically, right, Jane?
Apparently. I can't say that I know what that means.
Somehow that just feels correct for this year.
Fire horse.
Fire horse.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, if you were born in 1954, 1966, 1978, 1990, 2002, or 2014. This is your year. So, a horse is supposed to be confident, agreeable, and responsible, although they tend to dislike being reined in by others. Honestly, I'm not a horse, but that sounds like the last part, at least, kind of feels
Realizing
like
that my niece was born in 2002 and she's such a horse girl. So this will probably be a great year for her.
Big year for horse girls.
Big year.
The other thing I love most about Lunar New Year is the hongbao, which is like red envelope where you, as a child, you get money. So get a little red envelope and put money in there for your horse girl niece, Ashley. It has been like a weird transition to realize that I am now the adult who needs to put the money in the red envelope for the children.
For sure.
Because I'm like, give me that cash, please. But I'm like, oh no, it's my
That's
turn
not a
now.
metaphor for adulthood. I don't know what is.
Yeah, seriously. Do they take Venmo, though? It just feels a little easier.
You just like use the red envelope emoji.
Yes.
Perfect.
In other like red themed things this month, we of course have Valentine's Day, which we've already talked about a little bit. What, if anything, do you all do on Valentine's Day, and how do you feel about it as a holiday?
I don't do anything on Valentine's Day. In fact, my wife might be out of town for Valentine's this day, so maybe nothing.
Okay, so Liam, you might enjoy. There's an anti-Valentine's Day emo dance party on
Ooh.
February 6th called I'm Not Okay, which I am very
Metaphor
excited
for the
about.
year so far, I would say.
Honestly, yeah.
As a millennial who was raised on Parks and Rec, I grew up with, Galentine's Day as the go-to holiday. It has since been amended to Palentine's Day,
Much
which,
better.
I kind of hate as a phrase. It is like incredibly cringe, but we're leaning into cringe this year. So Palentine's Day it is. I feel like it's just a good excuse to celebrate your friends and to not like put romantic relationships above all else. That being said, I am flying across the country to go see my partner,
Aw,
and
that's sweet.
we'll be there with her for Valentine's Day. So
Well, that's so cringe.
yeah, sorry guys.
Love is
Damn,
cringe.
damn.
Ashley, what about you?
I usually eat my weight in those Reese's Heart, peanut butter
The
chocolate.
The candy
Mm.
is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the heart shape, the shapes are always better. The heart shape in particular is a really good one. Highly recommend. But this year, Maddie's Bake Shop is having their grand opening. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Maddie's, always at the Ballard Farmers Market, usually at
Ooh.
like craft fairs and stuff. She kind of pops up everywhere, but she's getting to open her own space at 177 Western Avenue West on February 14th.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love that.
Amazing. Go get yourself a little pastry. Yeah, I always celebrate the day after Valentine's Day as a day that you go get the half off candy. I think that's a good one.
Very smart, Jane.
It's like the day after Halloween too.
Yes.
Mhm.
This year, I think I'm gonna try and pitch my friend at the Pitch a Trailmate event that Stoop Brewing is doing in partnership with Wonderland
I
Gear
love
Exchange.
that.
You're supposed to make like a 3-minute like PowerPoint presentation, and I don't know if we'll get in, but I hope that we do.
You have to make
so
a
that-
PowerPoint?
You have
You
to
have to-
make a PowerPoint for the application. So
And there's
that's
so many people that you have to be like approved. Like you
I
have to like
suppose
win your
so.
way in.
I mean, we'll find out. I don't know how selective the process is, but fingers crossed for that.
I mean, Jane,
obsessed
you're a
with
writer.
this.
I feel like you
Yeah.
can make it happen.
And I'm pitching a fellow writer, so I think together we will have a good shot at the application.
Our powers
Um,
combined.
Last year, my husband and I went and took a gun class, and I thought that was actually very
Aw.
romantic. And there were other couples there. So
Wow.
if you want to do something kind of unhinged with your sweetie, I highly recommend. We had a great time. And by great,
Very,
I mean
like-
kind of a weird time. But also, we were glad
Were you
to learn
shooting
new skills.
guns?
Yeah, we're shooting guns.
Yeah.
Very Mr. and Mrs. Smith coded.
You know me, Angelina
Wow,
Jolie.
Big millennial vibes coming off Sam today. Good Lord. Parks and Rec and Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
I can only be who I am, Liam.
I know, I
don't
respect
apologize
it.
for it. The day before Valentine's Day, for Palentine's, Galentine's, whatever you want to call it, there is the Belltown Art Walk happening, and there are not one but two trans art shows that are happening. One is called Sweethearts. It's a Tea for Tea art show, and there are 50 trans artists from across Seattle. The highlight I think that many people will be excited about is that there is a 10-foot saint mosaic by the artist who brought you Hot Rat Summer.
I can't
that's
wait.
going to be on display.
Wow.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
So, like, every one of my favorite artists, I feel like, is going to be in this show. I'm really sad I'm not going to be able to go, but please, CityCast listeners, go for me and have a great time. That's at Common Objects. And then I guess sort of down the street at Slip Gallery is Brief Displays of Tenderness, which is being curated by J. Angel Valentine, who's an amazing local artist. Literally has Valentine in his name. And that
So
has
good.
30 trans artists in it as well. And artists retain 100% of the profits made from art sales. So a great art walk experience to have the day before Valentine's Day.
Love that.
Nice.
Seattle's Tourism Bureau has declared February Seattle's Museum Month, and if you stay at a participating hotel, you can get half off museum entry. I mean, that's not nothing. Like, I feel like those entry fees are often like at least $30. It can be quite expensive. So I feel like you have a few options here. Like you could do a little staycation. Like one of my friends actually last year for her birthday got us a couple of hotel rooms downtown and we just like hung out at the hotel downtown, like used the hot tub, went out for a nice little dinner. You could do the same. Or you could just try and target some of the museums that are always free. Like there's the Fry, and then on first Thursdays, a lot of museums offer free entry. You can also always get free admission through your Seattle Public Library card. But I want to know from you all, what museums around town do you recommend? You want to shout out?
I am unfortunately realizing that I can't even remember the last time I went to a museum, which is embarrassing. Unless Mopop counts.
Ashley.
Does Mopop count?
Yeah, it counts.
Yeah, that's a
totally.
museum.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I've been there pretty recently, but I haven't been to the Burke in a while, but it's always great. Dinosaurs. Who doesn't love dinosaurs? As you know, Jurassic Park. Clearly, there's a theme here. There's always cool exhibits at like the Seattle Art Museum that I want to check out. Like I hear about those all the time. And then the one that is, there's no excuse for me to not check that out this month, is the Nordic Museum in Ballard. It's down the street from me. That big troll is so cool. And so, yeah, I'm going to make that my goal of February. I'm going to go to the Nordic Museum.
I've still never been in there, despite having walked by it roughly 8 billion times.
Yeah.
My
But-
3-year-old has been there with his daycare before I've been there. They took a bus from the
wow.
U District.
That's so nice.
I know,
I wish
so
I
it
was
was
in
really
daycare.
Yeah, through it. What'd you
Wow.
say?
Just 3 years old and riding the bus across
Yeah,
town.
with the teachers, to be
Well,
clear.
yeah.
They weren't like, all right, we'll meet you there. But he loves it, and every time we drive by, he points out the troll.
That's cute.
Very
I wish
cool.
I was in daycare. That sounds fun.
Well, I will say that being working is kind of adult daycare. Speaking of kids, I'm gonna ride for the Woodland Zoo just because that is a great place to bring children and let them like kind of roam free ahead of you, because it's fun to watch them get really excited about like a bird. It kind of warms my cynical heart to see them be like, "Daddy, a bird!" And I'm like, that is nice. And then I haven't actually been to Mopop yet, but I'm interested in seeing their science fiction gallery and their guitar gallery, which really have big dad vibes. Like, I feel like that's a great
For
dad
sure.
experience to look
Yeah.
at guitars and
Mhm.
science fiction from my childhood.
Mhm.
That is definitely some dad stuff. I remember the first time I went there in like 2015. They already had Macklemore's jacket from the thrift shop music video on display, and I was like,
Nice.
"Oh, okay. Welcome to Seattle. I guess this is just what we put in the museums." But I have not been there, I think, in like 10 years, so I'm sure they have some new stuff.
More Macklemore merch that he's
Probably, yeah.
yeah.
Probably all the stuff from his latest like golf clothing line or whatever.
No.
Ashley, I know you had said the Burke, and I want to shout out the Burke, especially if people have not been there in the last 5 or so years. So people might know that they underwent a renovation and reopened in 2020, but they reopened like right before COVID hit. And actually, I did a little like science writer nerd party at the Burke in February 2020, and it was the last like
My
public
gosh.
big event that I went to, and I was like, man, I'm glad that did not become a super spreader event. But if you haven't been there in a while, definitely go check it out. The exhibits are beautiful, the space is beautiful, and I think the coolest part is that they have these rooms that scientists are actually working in, and they have like just a glass panel so you can kind of just peer in and see what the researchers are up to. It feels very like Jurassic Park, not to bring that movie up again.
Yeah.
But
Bring it up
It's
literally
kinda
anytime.
No, yeah,
An
that's the
all-time
best
great.
part, getting to watch them with their little brushes on the bones
Uh-huh.
through the glass. It's very cool.
It must be weird to feel like you're on display as the researcher, but as a person who's, just enjoying the museum, I'm like, oh, cool. Like the science is happening in real time.
You love to see it.
Yes. Any other museums that you all? Really want to go check out the pinball museum. I've never
I
been
didn't
there.
know we had one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
news to me.
I don't know that much
Um,
about pinball history, but I do have a friend who was very active in a pinball league for a while, and it's a subculture I don't know very much about, but I am sure is rich in history.
I am really excited about Tidelands is having an opening reception on February 7th for their Creation Stories gallery show.
Cool.
Tidelands is an Indigenous-owned arts and podcast and media company, and they have a space downtown kind of along the waterfront. I think it's on University Street downtown. And yeah, they're doing this amazing show that's going to be running through next year. That they spoke to storytellers from like many of the tribes across the Pacific Northwest, and they're sharing art interpretations of those creation stories.
Wow.
And the opening gallery is, I think, going to have people telling some of those stories as well. It's so cool because it's a way to kind of get to know the like original stories of this area, right? Like there's some of the oral traditions that go back the furthest. And I feel like if you're really trying to ground yourself in a story of this place that isn't connected to the current shit show that we're living through, it's a really nice way to think about like kind of the history of this land and the people who've been here, who have a lineage that stretches back the longest. And also just like everything they do is so beautiful. I've heard that there's going to be some kind of like cleansing ritual before you walk into the space to sort of prepare you for spending some time with like these stories. And it just seems like a really, really beautiful thing to get to be a part of. So I'm planning to go, and I'm really excited that it's going to be running for a long chunk of time.
It's awesome.
Love that. All right. Well, Museum Month, it seems like I've got my whole schedule figured out based on all of these great suggestions. All right, let's take a break. And when we come back, I want to hear each of your individual picks for February. All right, so we've talked about holidays. We've talked about museums. What else is going on in February that you think people should go check out? Or what are you going to be doing?
I'm excited that Dining in the Dark is coming back to Seattle. I don't know if you guys have heard
what
of
is that?
this.
Is it what it sounds like? You just eat in the dark?
Yeah, you're like blindfolded.
Why?
I mean,
Some eyes wide shut stuff going on here. I don't know what's up.
I'm sure it's just like a gimmick, but I think that it's supposed to enhance like your taste buds. Like you experience the food more because all of your other senses are gone. Or I guess you can hear, but like
it's like a
you can't
sensory
see.
deprivation tank, but you're eating something.
Yeah, there's like a 3-course meal involved. I'm does someone help you find your fork?
Right.
I'm curious
How do you
that
eat?
works. I don't know.
Or maybe they give you I can imagine like getting through a bowl of soup because that's at least like a fairly repetitive motion.
I don't
But,
know.
like-
You got a liquid on that spoon, Jane. It feels risky.
No,
yeah, I
you're
feel like
right.
I'm gonna
you're
miss my
right.
mouth. I need like
It's
a straw.
nothing you can cut. Like I feel like it really limits what you can serve for people to be able to.
Just donuts, because they're just using...
True, because if it's like steak or something, you don't want like a knife.
Yeah,
Like,
you can't cut. Yeah, okay. You know
Huh.
what? You need to go do this so that I understand how it works.
This
Is
feels
it a-
like a good social video, to be totally honest.
I mean, it's going to be so dark in there, though. I don't
We
know.
do our own dining in the dark.
Do we have night vision goggles at
Oh.
CityCast?
Licensed, branded night vision goggles.
I'm sorry. We're going to have to write the higher ups and be like, we need night vision goggles for this video.
It's
please."
very important. But that's happening on February 27th. I think it's in South Lake Union.
We need
Yeah.
to get the night vision goggles from Jurassic Park to bring it back, because when he puts them on in the movie, it's pretty sick.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was picturing. I'm that little boy in the back
Yeah,
of
you're
the car.
Tim. Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Just don't get electrocuted.
I've seen that movie 450 times, in case
Same.
it wasn't clear.
Same.
Actually, speaking of sensory deprivation, that's usually the movie that my husband and I will put on a plane. If you don't have headphones, you don't really need to listen to the dialogue. You know what happens. You just like put it on and you let it happen.
Totally.
Liam, what are
Me.
you going to do this month?
I have two things. One is this Brown Derby series is doing a reading of Twilight. It's like a comedic reading of the screenplay that a few of my friends used to go to, and I've never seen Twilight, so I
Me
probably
neither.
should watch it before that event.
guys.
Yeah,
no,
so that's
don't. I
no, we
think
should
you should
just
go in blind.
experience
Yeah.
it through.
okay.
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
it.
And then, so that's my kind of fun pick. Apparently, it sold out in like 2 minutes, so I'm excited for that. And then also, our friends at the Beacon Cinema are doing a series of films, early films of Pier Paolo Pasolini, who's a really interesting, famous, gay, Marxist Italian filmmaker who's very famous in like pop culture for punching a fascist in the face at one of the premieres of his movies, Mama
Okay.
Roma.
Hell yeah.
And so he made films with sex workers and like kind of like marginalized people, and his movies are really, really interesting. And this is just one of these great examples of the Beacon showing stuff that's like pretty hard to see. So I will be at some of those, and may even try to chat with people on mic about why they're coming to see these films, which are sort of urgently anti-fascist at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Liam, I have a recommendation that's, I think, right up your alley.
Tell me.
I feel like I'm sort of treading into Liam territory here, but
Come in, the water's warm.
I'm scared
Jesus.
now. Every time you manage to make it creepy.
It wasn't creepy. It's just, oh man.
Long Brothers Fine and Rare Books is this really cool bookstore in Pioneer Square. They also have like a bar in the back, and during First Thursdays they like have a DJ, and I don't know, it's a very cool space. But they are hosting a Cult Seattle film series, and there's one happening February 19th for a film called Shredder Orpheus.
Sick.
Which apparently is about a skateboarder named Orpheus, and he and his friends go to hell to stop television signals that are brainwashing America. This film, when it came out, apparently was rejected by SIF, and
And
since
now they're
then,
kicking themselves.
clearly, since then it's been celebrated as like an art house cult film, and yeah, it's the reviewer who blurbed this wrote, Shredder Orpheus is an independent as fuck retelling of the Orpheus myth set in a post-apocalyptic wasteland created out of stolen locations and shipping containers.
Sick. And it was
so
filmed
it's-
here, right?
Yeah, I believe so. And it's a free showing. There'll be popcorn. So, you know, it seems like a fun time to to go
Putting this
get
on
some
my
Seattle lore.
calendar.
Yeah, that sounds great.
That is incredible. Well, I am just kind of leaning into the like rainy season lately, but also kind of looking forward to when things are going to start blooming outside. I feel like things really kind of reach the full bloom in like April, May around here. But it usually starts at like the end of March. I feel like with like cherry blossoms and everything, people get into that. And so one of the things that is happening this month is that the Northwest Flower and Garden Show is happening. I have never been, but I've heard great things. I'm ready to be overwhelmed in a large like convention center setting. And maybe pick some nice things for my garden. I feel like every year I think maybe this is the year I'll have a nice garden, but I think like getting the inspiration and actually seeing all of the stuff in the displays will be extra motivation to get started on that at a reasonable time this year.
Yeah, it's so fun to like choose the flowers or plants or fruits or whatever it is you're growing and like all the different colors and stuff. I always get too excited about that, buy too many things, and unfortunately I do kill them. But in the moment it is very exciting.
Like
and
intentionally?
No, I'm just terrible with plants, but like I try.
I kill
Ashley's
them.
a plant serial killer. Learning it here today.
It's true. I'm sorry.
I believe in you, Ashley. You can do it.
I have currently 4 I am keeping alive. I'm doing great.
Congratulations.
That is
Nice.
good.
Mhm.
That is the max. We have reached the max.
Yeah, I feel like the indoor plants I'm in on, but the outdoor plants, like trying to figure out what works in the shade versus the sun and like how
Yeah.
much sun it gets. And with all of our weird weather aberrations lately, like just trying to keep things alive has been a bit of a journey, but I look
There's a
forward to
rose
learning.
bush absolutely popping off in front of my house right now, which is very
Nice.
strange for February.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think there are actually some camellias that bloom in the winter specifically. I'm gonna check that.
I have been seeing camellias everywhere in bloom, but I do feel like the weather madness does give you a lot of empathy for farmers who somehow are managing to grow our food through all of this.
Seriously.
Mhm. Yes, there are winter blooming camellias, so maybe that is what you're seeing.
What does a camellia look like?
Kind of
Similar
like a
to a
rose.
rose,
Like a
in
rose?
that they
Oh.
have this kind of layered petal structure.
Well,
I
yeah,
think there are a
that's
lot of
probably what
different
it is.
varieties of them too, so hard to give a blanket statement, but I could definitely see them I could definitely see confusing them with a rose. Like I think they sometimes have a similar structure.
Cool. Okay. That's probably what it is then.
Yeah.
Send us a
yeah.
picture, Ashley.
It's
will.
really nice. All right. Well, let's leave it there for now. Sounds like we've got a packed February calendar already for a fairly short month. Thank you all so much for giving me your recommendations.
Anytime.
You're
It
welcome.
was fun.
I'm your host, Jane C. Who, and listeners, we want to hear from you too. If you have any events that you want to shout out for February, send us an email at seattle@citycast.fm. You can also send us thoughts about really anything else. Like if you have questions, if you've got news tips, if you have gossip, clearly I want to hear it. So you can also text us or leave us a voicemail on the CityCast hotline at 206-880-3931. If you're enjoying the podcast, follow us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen so you never miss an episode. Or leave us a little review. It's really helpful. And just tell your friends about us. If you want other event recommendations as well as local news delivered right to your inbox, you can subscribe to our newsletter. Just go to seattle.citycast.fm. And you can always follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky at CityCast Seattle. And you can find full episodes of the show on YouTube. Until next time, see you, Seattle.